welcome to this special two-part series of Chakravyu Season 5. Now, Chakravyu is a special initiative conducted by the team at Mahindra Finance to help high-performing individuals within their organization to unlock their potential and fast-track their careers. Now, Chakravyu has been successfully conducted by the Learning and Development team at Mahindra Finance for 4 years now. And this year, in its 5th season, it's being televised on ET Now for the very first time. Well, I first want to chat with the management of Mahindra Finance to find out what Chakravyu means for the organization. And I have with me Ramesh Iyer, who joins us this evening. Ramesh, good evening and thank you so much for joining us. Tell us how Chakravyu fits into the Mahindra Rise philosophy and what it means for the management.
See, Mahindra Rise for us is actually a basic business philosophy. That's our business offering, if you may want to call. That's the key value proposition. So, in rural India, you just can't have limitations to operate, and whatever you do must make really a big difference to everyone that you're associated with. And if you kind of look at Chakravyu as a concept, it's exactly the same. Large organization looking for people for various levels within the organization, and it's a very entrepreneurial model. And therefore, when you look for people who can suit this kind of a requirement, we were kind of looking at where do we get them from, how do you train them, what kind of an assessment do you do for them. Therefore came this concept to say, why don't we really test them out in a real life situation outside in the marketplace, and then do a complete observation of what is coming out of all this activity out there, and look at what's their basic DNA. And that's what Chakravyu is all about.
All right, Ramesh, thank you so much for joining us. Now, I also have with me Vinay Deshpande. He's the Chief People Officer at Mahindra Finance. Vinay, very good evening to you. Now, tell us what this means for employees who get chosen for Chakravyu and how this changes their life.
In fact, it has given us a lot of benefit in terms of teamwork, developing and nurturing that, looking at competition at individualistic level as well as at the level of the large teams. So, there is an intra-team concept and there is an inter-team competition. Both these have evolved over a period of time. Then being on the ground, most of us when we become managers, we lose touch with the ground, and therefore we start taking decisions based on intuitions and not knowing the reality. Okay, research is one way of looking at what is happening at the basic level, but when you experience things hands-on, they matter a lot for these employees, and therefore we felt that Chakravyu would do a lot of magic in this direction.
All right, Vinay, thank you so much for joining us. Now, once the top performers were selected by the steering committee, each of them received a very special invitation to Chakravyu Season 5. I'm going to bring in the Learning and Development Team Head, Sukethu Kohli. Sukethu, good evening. Tell us about these special invitations that you sent out.
We create a big hype around this program, but we don't disclose the names of the participants out to the entire organization. So the invite is sent in a very interesting and a unique way. The participant receives a box. In the box, there is a flash drive and a jigsaw puzzle. The participant is still not aware what this is all about. He puts together the jigsaw puzzle, and after he does that, there is an anagram on the jigsaw puzzle. If he's able to solve the anagram, that anagram gives him a password which he enters into the flash drive, and inside the flash drive is the invite sent by the managing director of the company for him to participate in Chakravyu.
All right, so the invitations have been sent out, but we should also get to know the team that put this massive effort together. Now, their job was to make sure that Chakravyu Season 5 goes off without a hitch. The Leadership and Development team at Mahindra Finance was responsible for planning and executing all seasons of Chakravyu. This year, the team worked cohesively to ensure Chakravyu 5 was a grand success.
Chakravyu is a program which stretches an individual at the cognitive, emotional and physical plane. And we felt that a 7-day program would be just right to stretch the human being to its optimum level.
All right, so there you have it. We know a little bit about Chakravyu and its inception. It's now time to get started. Let's pick up the action when our shortlisted contestants arrived at the Mahindra Finance corporate head office in Mumbai to get their registration process started. There were 38 Mahindra Finance top performers who landed in Mumbai to complete their registration process. They were asked to hand over their mobile phones, laptops and wallets, including valuables like jewellery. All these items were sealed, tagged and boxed up by the Mahindra Finance L&D team. The contestants were then told that they were now part of the Chakravyu Season 5 and they were being taken to Belgaum in Karnataka for a week. After enduring a 9-hour bus journey, the contestants reached Belgaum and were checked into a hotel that would be their home for the coming week. Day 1. After a good night's rest, the 38 contestants reported bright and early at 9 a.m. for an interactive session, dressed in the red t-shirts that would be their uniform for the next 1 week, with a number that would be their identity. The session was on customer focus and creating values with customers, conducted by a faculty member of IIM Ranchi. The session lasted all day and ended at 7 p.m. with the contestants having to hand over a paper assignment. And that marked the end of day 1.
See, it is increasingly felt that customers change and customers are very unpredictable in any line of business. So basically, it was to tell them how to create that value very uniquely with the help of your customers, how to deliver that value, how to manage your customers. So the training was basically based on all this.
We learned a lot and we will use this in our future endeavors.
Fantastic learning experience from this side.
Maybe the first time this is the experience that I am going into.
Awesome, really awesome.
So far the experience has been really tremendous.
There's a learning curve to develop yourself.
Less of books and more of practical examples.
Day 2 and the contestants had to report for another interactive session on transformational leadership, conducted by a professor from XLRI.
Concepts that we basically covered in our class is transformational leadership and how a particular person or a manager will be a transformational leader.
During the 2-day LDP with Indian Institute of Management, case study analysis, presentations and classroom participation were integral parts of the assessment.
So now we are about to start the examination. You will get exactly 30 minutes to write the examination. Your examination starts now.
After a day-long session, it was time to turn in another written assignment. Contestants were then told to take a break while their assignments were checked and marked.
I'm feeling to be in top 30.
Whatever it may be, think positive, that's it.
Maybe I will clear.
But definitely we expect that we'll qualify.
Performed well. I hope I will pass. We are very tension.
After a tense waiting period, the contestants assembled again for an important announcement, the first elimination round. 30 t-shirt numbers were projected on the big screen and these were the contestants who had made it to the next round. For 8 of these contestants, their journey ended here.
The most challenging part is that Chakravyu is that without mobile and laptops.
I am searching my mobile and purse because I am used to checking all these things.
We are feeling as if we are totally cut off from the outside world.
Truly speaking, if we had our mobile phone, we would not concentrate.
Day 3 and the 30 contestants now gathered in the meeting hall at 8 a.m. for a business simulation exercise designed by the Tata Interactive Systems using TopSim as a platform.
The second leg of the program is a simulated business environment which is facilitated by TopSim. Here, participants are evaluated on their strategic business foresight.
The reason why TopSims are preferred for assessment centers is because, like you've seen, it brings out the real personalities of the participants. TopSim, you put them under pressure, the team has to come together, the onus is on the team to take a collaborative decision. So it brings out dominant personalities, and I think that is what really needs to be assessed in an organization.
The contestants were split into 5 teams with 6 members each, and each team were assigned a laptop with the preloaded business simulation program. The 2 faculty members from Tata Interactive Systems then took them through the basic ways to use the simulation, and the teams had to come up with solutions for questions posed by the program. At the end of the day, each team was given an exercise. They had all night to think over it, but they're going to have a solution the next day. Day 4. The contestants now have to make presentations on the solutions they have for the previous day's questions.
We did this whole workshop over 2 days and we played 4 economic cycles where there were 5 teams and each of these teams were acting as a board of directors of their own companies, taking decisions and running the company.
They were asked to take a break when Tata Interactive Systems scored each contestant on their performance over the last 2 days. The day ended with another elimination round. This time, only 20 T-shirt numbers were written on the whiteboard. 10 more contestants would have to go home. We're now down to 20 contestants and the game has only just begun. When we come back from this break, the contestants will be split up into families and we'll also have an auction. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Mahindra Finance Chakravyu Season 5. Well, before we went into break, our contestants were brought down to just 20. And now comes the exciting part when they actually get put to work.
You will be judged as an individual. However, you will be working as cohesive units, as families and as teams.
At 8 p.m. on the 4th day, the 20 remaining contestants gathered on the lawn of the hotel. They were divided into 4 families of 5 members each in order to take on the tasks that were going to be assigned to them in the remaining 3 days.
The next 3 days are going to be extremely intense. And I want you all to be very focused, mentally very strong, physically very, very alert, and don't give a quarter to anybody.
The contestants were asked to voluntarily nominate 4 people as family heads.
These are the 4 family leaders.
Now each of these 4 people represent the 4 families: the Aryans, Avatars, Kshatriyas and Rajputs. They were each given a briefcase and 1,000 rupees to bid for the 16 remaining contestants and complete their families.
Let the auction begin.
Through this auction, the 4 family heads bid for their family members and completed each family.
Sumit Banerjee for 50. Sumit Banerjee for 50 with avatars after 51. Kshatriyas update for 100. Kshatriyas 101. Yes, 150. Aryans 200. 252. Mr. goes to avatars. Congratulations. 50. Kshatriyas 300. Any bidders for Mega Datta? 100. Aryans 100. Kshatriyas 250. Kshatriyas 353. Mahesh Nagar joins Kshatriyas.
Now you are on the threshold of actual action.
Now here's what the newly formed families look like. The Aryans, Avatars, Kshatriyas and Rajputs. Well, that was just one half of the night's proceedings. The most exciting part was yet to come. We're now going to have business teams. The next step was for each family head to allocate their family members to a particular product or market to do business in. There were 4 products to choose from: the onion and potato business, the vegetable business, the fruit business, and the garment business. This is how the members of the 4 families moved on to form 4 product teams to do business in.
The rule is at least one person from every family should be posted in one product market.
The angel investors.
Well, the surprise announcement was that an angel investor would be assigned to each family who would infuse a working capital of 7,500 rupees. This money would be divided by the family head among his family members for each of them to invest in their product business. The angel investors also doubled up as assessors of each product team on the 3-day field exercise. The assessors and angel investors were all from People Metrics, an organization that had partnered with Mahindra Finance's Chakravyu from inception. They shared their views on the challenges introduced in the current season of Chakravyu.
Chakravyu 5 is really pushing the limits where they have nothing
They probably are fighting to live every day like what an entrepreneur would have, especially a startup entrepreneur would go through. They have to manage a lot of things themselves and also carry their team along with them. And at the end of the day, they also have to go back to the angel investor and prove that the angel investor's decision to put money and trust in them is actually working out.
I personally feel that this is a very, very good organizational intervention. Very few organizations in India do adopt this kind of an approach. In fact, I feel, this intervention is a part of action learning program, which is very, very popular in the United States.
The night ended with the family head allocating the product and working capital among each of their family members and meeting with the angel investor. This was followed by a business team meeting on each of the product markets with the assessor present. In the meeting, they discussed the strategy they would apply the next day. That was the end of day 4. So now that we know the rules, the teams and the families, there's only one thing left to do, to put those contestants to work. When we come back after this very quick break, we'll go straight to day 1 of the field business exercise. Welcome back. You're watching Mahindra Finance Chakravyu Season 5. It's time to plunge straight into the action of the first day of the business field exercise. Now, before we went into break, our contestants were divided into families, teams and were given an exercise. Now they have to put their strategy to use and sell 4 different products in a market that's completely unknown to them. Take a look. Day 5 and the 4-member vegetable business team was the first team to leave the hotel. They reached the vegetable wholesale market and bought 3 vegetables, methi, cauliflower and cabbage. They then got sacks to use as floor mats while selling vegetables. They got a cart puller to transport the vegetables to the retail market. Meanwhile, the 6-member onion and potato business made their way to the APMC market from the hotel. The team reached the market, they realized all the onions had been sold at an auction the previous day. They convinced one of the wholesalers to sell them 200 kgs of onions, which they packed into 200 polythene bags of 1 kilo each. They then hired a tempo to take them to 2 prominent locations in Belgaum. One, a busy road where 3 members set up shop to sell 100 kilos of onions, and the other 3 members went to a prominent locality to sell the onions door to door.
You get a right thing. It is just initiative for this.
Once they had the material and then they formulated a strategy as to where to go about, which are the areas they would like to cover. They had also made some inquiries locally, so they came to understand that Hanuman Nagar and Sadashiv Nagar were good residential areas which they wanted to target.
By this time, the 5-member fruit business team made their way to the fruit wholesale market. They started with some research. They asked the shopkeepers what the price of the fruits were and which fruits were doing brisk sales.
What I notice is they are taking too long for taking decisions.
They then decided that they would sell oranges. They hired a tempo for the whole day to help them sell 8 boxes of oranges. The 5-member garment business team reached the cloth shop and got to work.
33 bola, 33 what?
Yeah, 33 hai. This is 33. Okay. This is 36 and those are...
We have purchased 2